Tashi is going to be teaching the 37 practices of all Buddhist sons. It's not a preliminary to the Bodhisattva vow. It's after you've taken the Bodhisattva vow, you sort of study this, but you don't necessarily have to have that vow in order to read it. It's very useful, especially for what we're doing with the Lamrim. It runs parallel to that teaching. It's a very good teaching, and he's a very good teacher. He's was the chant master at Saramay Monastery in India, and he's been teaching here on and off a few lessons that we've had from him, thanks to Hector and Michael Wick bringing him here. So you really should come and to this teaching. It's going to be 2-3 hour teaching around that, and it's a very precious opportunity to get this teaching. You can get it as many times in your life. He had it 4 times from the Dalai Lama himself, so he can really teach it well, and you're all welcome. It's here at the Three Jewels on not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 7th of April. No matter what your email you got, you might have gotten a wrong email because it went out on some mass mailing that it was the 1st, but it's not, okay? It's Geshe Tashi, and he's teaching the 37 practices of all Buddhist sons. And it's going to be at 5:30, and we have the place for the rest of the night. So come, bring your dogs if you have no babysitter, and as many people as you want to. It's very precious.
April 7th, Saturday the 7th.
At 5:30.
37 practices, 7th.
On the 7th.
Confusing me.
All
confusing me.
Numbers, you can play them tomorrow for the 5:30.
So the Lamrim I want to give you as an object of meditation covers all the steps to Buddhahood, and it's the source of all my good. Who's done the source of all my good? Who's done it? Yeah, who's? Okay. So I'll read it to you so you get a little bit of the lunga. But in there, if you know what to interpret, I contained all the steps. And then I'll cover a little bit the beginning of the steps, which has got something to do with finding a teacher, and so you've got to figure out what's the right kind of teacher and what to do with a teacher and why the hell the teacher, and etc. But before I do that, I just want to reiterate that you are trying to change your state of being some way, and we continuously do it outwardly. I want more drink, I want less drink, I want more food, I want less food, I want more boys, I want less boys, I want more girls, I want less girls. I want better fashion, I want worse fashion, I want fat heels, skinny heels, thick belts, skinny. And we change our states all the time, and we're still looking. The nature of who we are as creatures is that we're dissatisfied. We get what we want, and then we want more. We don't want it. It's not the thing. We normalize it. We turn it to shit. It's terrible. We want change. We do. We don't want to be this way. We want to be more. We want things to change, right? If I could only. And then we don't like change. What are we, stupid? I don't like change. I don't want things to change, but I want things to be different. It's bizarre. It is funny. It's hilarious. Because it's so bad. It's like we're setting ourselves up all the time. What else are you going to feel but unhappiness? Duh. And so that alertness that comes when you see that, you go, I want to change that. Really this time. Really. Because when you get serious about it, then things open up. And it was always there. It's not far in. It was always there. And that's the big spiritual awakening moment. We're searching in the wrong way. And when we get a hint that it's just not far into you, and it was always there, and it's always there for everyone, then you go, wow. Then you really practice. Then you go, I'm gonna do this. So I hope you can do that and see. You see that in the Lamrim, in the steps to the path. So just so you know what's contained in the steps to the path, this is 5 great books of ancient India. A whole bunch of them, or the sutras on the perfection of wisdom of Prajnaparamita, is one set of books that are studied in the monastery. So what does that mean, perfection of wisdom? And it's predominantly the teaching on emptiness. Predominantly. And emptiness not as a thing, emptiness as an experience that lets you see that things that's not far into you, from which everything can occur. The code. So then you have Majjhimika or middle way, then you have vowed morality or Vinaya.
Slow down.
It's on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Abhidharma or higher knowledge, and this is where we're going to cover that in Proof of Future Lives, I think. We cover Abhidharma in several places. All these have elements of all the others in them, but separately they don't focus on the entire path. They give you insights into parts of the path. But the amazing thing about the Lamrim is that it grabs all the key components, the emptiness component, the karma component, how things really work, and the last one, which is pramana, which is what's a valid perception. Like, how do you know that this is real?
Bless you.
Bless you. In a Christian way. In Islamic way. In a Jewish way. I don't know what the Buddhist way is. But bless you there too. So you need to know that these contain all the teachings of the Buddha that came from the sutras, and then that there are commentaries upon them, and then they moved from India to all sorts of places. So for example, Majjhimika and Vinaya and Abhidharma were the main texts, or the main ideas that went to Thailand and all the Hinayana countries. They focus on the vows and so on. But they didn't reach all countries. Not all the texts reached all countries. And that's what made Tibet such a special thing, that all these teachings reached there. And then it was so far away and nobody ever wanted to go up there. It was freezing cold, that they stayed locked, and then they had nothing else to do, so then they made a real practice of these things. So there's 4. So if you understand the Lamrim, you get to understand all the topics in here. That does not mean don't go study these things. Go and study these things, but the Lamrim will give you a method to actually transform. Knowledge by itself doesn't help you. You've got to do something with it. So for this Lamrim, the source of all my good, is that the word out there? Yes. So say Yomten, Shir, Gurma, Lamrim. So for those of you who want to know, when I suggest you do, Yon 10 is good quality, Shir is source, Gurma is he who is, and what's Lam? Rim? Lam's path, Rim is steps, or good. So good quality source here is path steps.
Makes sense.
It's summarized as the source of all my good, but it's he who is the source of all my good. He who is the source of all my good qualities. And so when you think about good qualities and you juxtaposition that to what we just finished discussing, that we want our things to change and we're doing all the wrong things about it, the good qualities would be sort of refraining from those things and actually doing things with wisdom, doing the right things. They're the good qualities. Yeah. So who is the source? What is the source of anybody doing those good qualities, where you get to Buddha, to wake up? So we'll talk about that. It has 4 great divisions, this Lamrim. And the 4 great divisions are not there, but they are. First of all, the root of the path. So you need to know that on this Lamrim, the first major section covers the root of the path, or how to take on a Lama. How do you find a teacher?
Ask for one.
That's what it covers. But it's not. Yeah, I had such a problem with the teacher, finding a teacher at the beginning, because I thought I knew everything, but obviously I didn't, because I was unhappy. So I just had trouble identifying that as somebody could teach me something. I was 20 something, and so I had trouble with this finding a teacher. But there were teachers all around me, people, beings, even creatures, who would get me to wake up. When I saw them doing something, I just didn't think of them as teachers until I got to see them that way, and then all of a sudden they began popping. So then the first of the sections is the root of the path, or taking a Lama, taking a teacher. How do you take them on, and what should your lifetime behavior be towards that idea of teacher? What's on your mind when you see some being creating an experience inside of you that goes, aha. So that we'll cover that. And then the second of the great divisions is how to practice. And that's to do with purifying the obstacles that prevent you from getting higher and higher knowledge. The third section, or the third great division, is requesting for help in practice. So once you get to see how the practice is working, you realize you don't know how to turn all the dials, so you ask for help. And then it's the prayer to your lamas to achieve your goals, and this is like a special kind of. We did it in the meditation at the beginning. If there is a thing going through your mind that you experience a teacher, whatever that looks like for you, and that experience you're having in your mind, then all your behavior towards them also will produce results. Hopefully results to see more of that, because that gets you out. So you're doing that on purpose. And so then you go, well, help me figure out more than just that. Let me figure out all that. And then really charge up a want, a thirst with intelligence on how to achieve all the goals that now you understand because they've been teaching you them. We'll cover that. So the first part, remember we said that Tibetan Buddhism has lists? Mm-hmm. Good. The root of the path has 2 parts, and the first part has 2 sections. Mm-hmm. So the root of the path, or taking on a Lama, the first part, or let's call it part A, is developing faith. I don't have a problem saying that word anymore, but my golly, I had a problem for years. So if you have a problem for it, change the word faith into whatever the thing is that's got electricity in, that gives you a valid, true perception that that being that you call a teacher, or that you would like to get, has a knowledge that you have, that you want. Imagine, even if it's just an image in your mind of a being that possesses those qualities. There's a faith around believing that something's got that quality. So developing that to a way that it manifests. And that's got 2 sections. First part, and so we'll cover these, I'll give you 2-3 lists later, how to think about them, how to think about him or her. So what should you be placing upon that idea, so that idea gets turned on to a reality. And these are the 10 qualities of a teacher. Yeah, which we did if you did ACI 1 or 2.
I think it was in 1.
I think it was in 1, yeah. And then, so how to think about them, and then how to act towards them. So that's part 2 of A. The next part, part B, is developing reverence for them by remembering their kindness. And there's a special feeling that you get, a humbling feeling that you get, if you remove the ego, if you move out of the way, and you think about how kind people in your life have been to help you realize things. They're not under any obligation. In fact, everybody you ever learn from, your mother, your brother, your sister, your teachers, anybody, why should they? But then you're having this experience of them saying just the right thing for you. And if you've been lucky enough to have had a little bit of that, it's precious beyond belief. I hope you get that. So you remember their kindness for even making these efforts. So let me give you some lists. So let's cover then how to think about them, and then we'll cover the rest in the next class. Who remembers the 10 qualities of a teacher? So if you try and analyze what makes a teacher, yeah, they should possess these 10 qualities. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, they know more than you do.
That's one of them. Yeah, so the teacher should know more than the students. I mean, that's why it's teacher-student. Yeah. So they should be a little bit further on the path, if not a lot further on the path. They've not perfected the path, dependent on your karma. Yeah.
They do as they teach.
Do as they teach.
They don't tell you that this is this sutra, and it means that you don't lie, steal, and cheat, but they're lying, stealing, and cheating.
Right. So they practice what they're teaching.
They practice.
Okay, they're congruent with their teaching. It's part. It might have let's see where it fits in the list of 10. Anyone else?
They don't get sick of teaching you.
God, I hate saying that. That's a funny joke. Yeah. Good. Yeah, they just don't mind saying the same thing over and over and over until you get it. They like it. You know, it's like a person that's really, really thirsty. Yeah. And to see people get it, it's like, oh, you have that glass of water and it's a pleasure. It should be like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, let me give you a list of 10. Okay, the first 3, 1, 2, and 3. Do you remember Dulwa? What was Dulwa? Tamed what?
Morale.
Yeah. So they're practicing their morality. So what are they practicing? What moralities are they practicing? The 10 virtues, avoiding the 10 non-virtues, which are, they're not killing, stealing, sexual misconduct,
Lying.
which are the first 3 are of
Body.
body. So their bodies are not killing things and stealing things and humping wrong things. That disqualifies me. No. The next
Mind.
of mind, which are lying. Are they mind? Speech.
Oh, sorry.
Lying. Idle talk.
Harsh words.
Harsh words. That disqualifies me again. The last of mind are
Correct view.
That's number
The
10.
end. You told us to start from the end and then move backwards. We really want to learn it.
Be compassionate.
Ill will, coveting,
Jealousy, envy, coveting.
so you don't see these teachers doing those things. Yeah? So they're practicing morality. And I guess it's congruent with the teachings. Shiva, do you remember Shiva?
Shima?
Shiva.
Shiva, I remember Shima. Concentration, mastering concentration. Yeah, the first three are the three by Maitreya, what were they called? The three trainings. The trainings of morality, the training of concentration, which means they have a practice of concentration. They're able to put into practice this thing that we're teaching, meditation. Yeah, they have a meditation practice, etc., etc.
It's the three extraordinary.
And they have
The three extraordinary trainings.
they
Yeah,
have
and the
some
last one, the first.
realizations or something.
Mastered wisdom.
Yeah. Have mastered wisdom. Excellent. So number 3 is have mastered wisdom, which means what? They either have an intellectual understanding of this thing we call emptiness, they can explain it, they've processed it, or they can have a direct perception. But they at least have an intellectual understanding, they can share with you the thing about the pen. Yeah, if you've been to that. So they're the first 3. They have practiced morality, they've mastered concentration, mastered wisdom.
But this is the order?
This is now the order.
Oh,
I
okay.
figured I'd just give you the order.
All right.
Number 4 is they know more than their students. Congratulations. Number 5, willing to make great efforts on behalf of the students. So they make efforts, strong efforts. Number 6, they understand the scriptures, meaning they understand where to find all these texts. They have it internalized. This text says perfectly or totally. They should have perceived emptiness directly, or as close as you can. They should have skillful means, number 8, which means just know the right thing to say for that mind and that mind. They should have love for their students. And thank you, Sarah, they shouldn't get tired of teaching, saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Until you get it.
Until you get it.
What's number 3?
Number 3 said perfect, or they have mastered the training in concentration or wisdom. Yeah.
And 4?
Sorry, no, wisdom, not concentration.
Okay.
Know their students more, know more than their students. Number 4. Are you guys tricking me and you're making it say again?
I want to see if you're going to get annoyed or not.
Number 7 is they should have perfected emptiness. So 6? Number 6, understand the scriptures perfectly.
But how do you know your teacher has perceived emptiness?
That's a good question. The question was, how do you know your teacher has perceived emptiness? Yeah.
You ask them.
You can ask them, but then they can't tell you. Which is a
Don't have to
trick.
say.
What?
It's just easier if you just put your faith in them that they're this just absolute perfect being, and don't question it.
Oh, but you have to question.
Well, no, but I mean,
You can't just have blind faith. You're supposed to analyze it, and that's where you do Shardon. Yeah? So is it probable that they've seen it? Is their behavior, the way that they're explaining it, congruent with what I've understood, what I've been taught? And you just watch, and you keep watching, and then you'll get to a point where you'll be able to go, I'm relaxed enough. But you shouldn't just do that at the beginning. Yeah? One problem with that is that you have to understand a bit of emptiness, which means you have to get it from some teachers. But you can go to other teachers to get that teaching. You don't have to get it from the one teacher. So, Jade Tsongkhapa says, Holy J Tsongkhapa, and Tsongkhapa means what's?
That's where it's from.
It's where it's from, right?
Town.
Which is onion town or something. Yeah. Tsongkhapa. J means what?
Lord.
Lord of the onion fields. Yeah. J Tsongkhapa. Holy J Tsongkhapa.
Yeah,
Dude over
right
here.
there.
Yeah. Said this is in the 1400s. He says, even in terrible times like that, where are you going to find a teacher like that? Impossible. So at least they should have these 5. So here's list number 2. In number 1, 2, and 3 are the same. They should have the 3 extraordinary trainings. They should be practicing morality. They should have good concentration. Did anybody notice that? Thank you. Someone got it. Thank you, Aaron. And they should have some mastered wisdom. Thank you. Someone got it slowly.
Hey.
Good. Hey. Number 4 of the list of 5 is they should have some mastery or have perceived emptiness directly. They should have the understanding of emptiness either intellectually or directly. And number 5, this is interesting. What do you think it is if it's out of the 10?
Not too many jokes.
Not too many jokes?
Teaches the class.
Yeah, the last one.
Sorry?
You must enjoy it.
No,
Don't get tired
The
of
love
teaching.
for the students.
the love for the students. I like that a lot. Isn't that sweet? That they should have ultimate wisdom, understand the code that makes the world really function. Because if we knew how it really functioned, we wouldn't be in trouble. They know how it really functions. They've seen emptiness directly, which means they can see how everything arises. But then they must also have love, compassion, wisdom and compassion, the 2 wings. I think it's beautiful. Yeah. So if you can't find those 10 qualities, and where are you going to find it? In the 1400s in Tibet, where they've got nothing else but to practice these things. So if they're having a hard time finding a perfect teacher, don't feel too bad you've got me as a teacher. They should at least have these 5. And then the text says, and this is they're quoting Pabonka Rinpoche's text, which was this master in Tibet in the 1920s who did these lectures, Liberation in the Palm of Our Hand, and Holy Geshe Michael's teaching this in Arizona. But that text says, Mataya, 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 which is at the very minimum. If you can't find the 5 that J Tsongkhapa quotes, to find a teacher that is authentic for you, that can turn this whole thing on, they should at least have these 5. Which I really like as well. These are another 5. This is Tsongkhapa, Pabonka's 5. Yeah, and these 5 I like. They're actually quite lovely. In the great division between worldly and dharma, so between worldly activity and this kind of special insight activity, dharma, they should be devoted mainly to dharma. You should see them spending their precious life mostly on dharma. And it doesn't mean externally, so it doesn't mean whether they're busy doing jobs or whatever, because there's plenty of Buddhas or holy beings who weren't monks, for example, yeah, that had great skill living these teachings, turning them on to the point where they realized enough things that changed their being completely to a point where they could teach others. They should spend more of their time doing that than chasing boys. In the division between life, this life and future lives, so thinking about all the things I'm going to get this life and fix this life, like lose my tummy, etc., or future lives, what do you think they should be mostly focused on? Future lives. Yeah? So they should be dedicating their entire life force to creating an experience beyond this life. This life is pretty much set. It's part of the depressing thing. Unless you enter into the secret teachings, and then there's some magic, but you can't enter into the secret teachings. They will stay secret from you unless you have the basis or the open teachings, the lam rim, these steps, really clear in your mind. Yeah, so they should be focused towards future. And then number 3 is they should take care of others, mostly before taking care of themselves. So you should see them tirelessly taking care of others. And they're not number 4 is that they're not careless in their actions of body, speech and mind. So you don't see them wasting efforts or being careless about what they do with their body, being careless what they do with their speech, and being careless what they do with their consciousness, what they put in. And the 5th one is that they're not teaching students a wrong path, which is interesting. Because how do you know? Yeah. And so you have to, there are many paths available to us in the world, and many wisdoms, but which ones, for you, which ones are complete? Some of them will give you a complete experience of a certain aspect of the path at a certain point in time, and then there's nothing beyond it. So then what? And so it's the Lamrim is like putting an engine together. If you don't have this part and that part and that part, the thing won't turn on. And there are some parts that are just a part, and they function really well, and you can get beautiful experiences. But then what? How do you know it's a complete path for a being that wants to get ultimate? So I've got to give you some things for your homework. You'll see in the Source of All My Good this idea of please bless me, bless me, bless me, bless me being asked continuously of the Lama. Yeah. This is asking for your capacity to understand these things to increase. So when you say bless me, it's not like someone's got fairy dust and going ding, happy birthday. You know, you're asking for that thing that you experience as a teacher. I mean, it's a real thing. For me, like I said, it was Joseph Campbell. So I'm sitting there going, bless me, Joseph Campbell, because it's what I believed. And what I meant by that was increase my capacity to understand all that vastness that you understand. Because it's limited at the moment. Otherwise, I'd be understanding it with you. Please increase my capacity with every action to understand those things I don't understand. So that's what it means. It's not like somebody comes and blesses you. Yeah? So there's a great danger to... Did I miss a piece? I did. Yeah. There's a great danger to just learn these things and let them be heady. You have to have an experience of them. So I encourage you to step into your level of comfort into them, and then a little bit more. Like stretch your comfort level a little. How else are you going to expand? How else are you going to change if things don't change? So I want to leave you with I'm going to read the Source of All My Good next week, okay? Unless you want to spend an extra 10 minutes, which you're welcome to, I'm happy to. But the idea that this text or these concepts in your mind, once you meditate upon them, once they become the object of meditation, can turn something on, is vital here. You have to understand that the words themselves are empty. They don't have a nature of their own. They're just black squigglies. And for some people, it can be a complete blissful experience. And for some people, it's like, blah, I heard that. Or if you do it without some insight or some effort, it can become, just another thing that didn't work. It requires your effort to make it work. It requires some practice. And so the Lamrim can be alive inside of you if you leave it in there long enough. But before it can be that, you've got to learn the process. So I invite you to really take on an object of meditation. I'm offering you an object of meditation for the next 3 months or 6 months, up to you, where we learn the steps to the path, on the path. We say, what are the components that would make Buddhahood according to this philosophy? And then try and break it. And then when you get an aha moment, step into it. And you single point, and each time you're growing your meditation, and rather than doing it on a candle or a triangle or a flower, you're already doing it with the biggest thing you seek, which is ultimate wisdom, ultimate love. So I invite you, if you want to take this on as an object of meditation, and we'll start it next week. Yeah?
Is that in our reading? For
I believe so. If it isn't,
I didn't see it. But
you didn't see it? No, it's not actually. It's not. What it is the breakup of it is in the reading, but in the text itself is not. So,
Can you read the first 4 lines?
yeah, that's a good way to finish. I'll read the first 4 lines.
Maybe I could find the attachment.
No, let's give you readings.
Oh, no, of course, but besides that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
work. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So take a comfortable seated position. I'll only be 3 minutes. Yeah. Imagine this is a special kind of nectar entering your body. Remember, you had your teacher somewhere above your head. Allow them to sit there and then glow with light, letting each particle of their radiance drip inside your crown. The source of all my good is my kind Lama, my Lord. Bless me first to see that taking myself to him in the proper way is the very root of the path, and grant me then to serve and follow him with all my strength and reverence. Bless me first to realize that the excellent life of leisure I've found just this once is ever so hard to find and ever so valuable. Grant me then the wish, and never stop to wish, that I could take its essence night and day. My body and the life in it are fleeting as the bubbles in the sea froth of a wave. Bless me first thus to recall the death that will destroy me soon, and help me find sure knowledge that after I have died, the things that I've done, the white and the black, and what these deeds will bring to me, follow close behind, always as certain as my shadow. Grant me then ever to be careful to stop the slightest wrongs of many wrongs we do, and try to carry out instead each and every good of the many that we may. Let's leave it at that. And quickly dedicate any goodness that that has flowed through your awareness tonight. We're talking about real things. This is a real planet floating in a real universe with millions and millions of beings who just want the suffering to stop. And bliss is available to them, not far in. And you're touching it. It's so close. So dedicate that to them. Yeah.
Sashi
Puki Jushin Metotram Viram Shin Yundayam Padi Sangha Shindu Ite Vargi Robun Nanda Shinla Jiparsho Yidam Guru Ratnamandalakam Nimyatayami
Ewa
Digyokun Sunam Yeshe Soksoshin Sunam Yeshe Lejun Wei Rampa Kuni Toparsho. And just visualize that being on the crown of your head getting smaller and smaller and entering your crown. And watch them float down just in front of your spine, down to the level of your heart. And find them at home there. With all their wisdom and knowledge, they stay there, teaching you from there. Thank you so much for coming, people, and thanks for letting me blah blah.
Thank you for teaching.
The homeworks.
A lot of your homeworks and quizzes are in a folder out there on the table. So, yeah, that have been checked.
Actually, just quick on logistics. Please do your homework and quizzes. Please, please, please. And if it's a hassle, just do them quickly. I don't care. Just do some, please. And we've got 2 more classes, and then I have to rush the last 2 classes. And I won't be here for when you guys do the exam. But please, 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 either come and do the exam, or when people are doing the exam, pretend it's a Thursday, complete all your homeworks and quizzes. It'll make all the difference, because I want to leave you with a practice of meditation on this text and what it means and how it can turn on. And it's a rare opportunity. If you don't do it now, you're less likely to do it next time. We just like that. We get busy, there's other things to do. But what's most important in your life? What is the big goal you're seeking? And if you've lived long enough, you should figure out that all the other ways give you temporary results. This is saying you can permanently shift your state. I hope you do. Deeply, 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 I hope you do. It's available to each of you. Come back.
You too.